5 champion Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's the 11th race of the regular season here from the Music City, and we're shaping up our regular season for our playoff contention. The top 12 are going to go to the final 5 races. Live here tonight from Nashville Super Speedway, the 1.33 miler in Tennessee. It's the Coastal Financial Truck Series presented by Racing Revolution, live on Vspeed. Welcome in, everyone. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, with you all season long, and we're just coming up on our 5 or 6 year anniversary for me personally. Vspeed's been around since 2018. We're just teeing off, guys. This is a truck series that has put on fantastic racing, and we're starting to get a variety of drivers getting victories in our playoff picture. As Jeremy Burns with his 5 wins, his lead's starting to dwindle down a little bit here. Grant Thorpe, Dakota Floyd trying to chip away at that for that top 3. Dakota Floyd maintaining that top 3 winless this season. Then you have guys like Michael Reed, who found his way to victory in the lane last week for the first time this season. Grant Turner has a victory as well. All of these going to be playoff contention with those playoff wins, with those wins on the stage. It's all going to add up. And all of this that you see right here, it's going to be completely jumbled up when we go postseason in just a moment's time. We'll take a look at the schedule here. As we have talked about over the season, we're running out of races to get those points. And once we narrow it down to that top 12, well, you all understand how it works. Once you settle that out, those drivers are locked in. It's a win and you're in situation. And with just not enough races left, I think we've pretty much got it locked up. We won't have more drivers exceeding the amount of wins it would take to get in versus how many drivers can get in. I don't think that's going to be possible now, as we are at Nashville Super Speedway. Then we have Charlotte, of course, a bye week for Memorial Day weekend there on the 26th. Then we go on to Kansas and Daytona Super Speedway over on the 9th of June to round out our regular season. Then it's Old Atlanta all the way down to Las Vegas on the 21st of July. So hope you guys can stick with us all the way through the remaining portion of this. But a look here at our track that we have selected here tonight. Opened January 1st, 2001, a concrete oval of 1.33 miles. Shallow banking here, 14 degrees of banking in the turns. Choose up the tires on the right-hand side, especially that right front, trying to get this thing to turn off and turn forward. Eventually, you're going to see drivers migrate towards the top on the entry and kind of take a late apex to avoid hitting that outside wall. So it's the difficulty of this racetrack and keeping the tires underneath of it going to be prevalent as this run goes on. 125 laps here tonight with a 45-mile-per-hour pit road speed limit. 4 tire sets available at a premium, and the stage at lap 35. But with that, it's time to take you trackside, get the grid up on your screen, and starting on the top position here tonight, no surprise here, it's your 5-time winner, Jeremy Burns, with a 30.038. He will have Dakota Floyd third in the points, starting to his outside. Row number 2 goes to Michael Call. Tyler Harrison will start in 4th. Then 5th spot going back to Trevor Keith. Grant Thorpe in the 77. Turning around his season here progressively. He'll start 6th. 7th goes to Kyle Diaz. Michael Reed in 8th. And rounding out your top 10 here tonight is Justice Murphy in the number 12. Christopher Shaper in the number 23. 11th spot goes to Kevin Orlando Jr. Grant Turner, winner in Atlanta, starting 12th. 13th spot goes back to Cody Anderson. Caleb Gilbert in 14th. 15th spot, Chris Nail, Justin Ritchie in 16th. And that last row, Ryan Comer, Jackson McGeorge in the number 18. But with that, it's time to get week number 11 underway. Here we go from Music City. Coastal Financial Truck Series is live and racing. Goes to the 72, and you look back here with Tyler Harrison and Michael Call. A pass for that position, up 1 now for the 45 car. Down the back straightaway, though, side by side with the 15 of Trevor Keith. He's trying to go Grant Thorpe, trying to defend that position. They look 3 wide into 3 and 4. Call's going to drop down to block that, give a little dirty air to the 15. He'll push up the racetrack in contact with the 77. Truck in the wall behind them. It's the 7 of Turner. He'll lose 2 spots on that. Almost a mistake there by Trevor Keith pushing up the racetrack. Grant Thorpe almost got turned. Turner will lose another spot now, has a 23 of Schaefer trying to fall through that top 10. Turner still up 3 positions, got up there quickly. He's running a higher line than everybody else. And I say he's using the safer barrier to get off at turn 4. Right on board here with the pedal camera. See the adjustment on the throttle. The foot cam. I say driver cam, but it's the pedal cam. Riding on board with Grant Turner. Over there last week, made a mistake of getting the wrong camera on the wrong guy. Apologized to Grant Turner. There it is again, still using that safer barrier to exit that corner. He's going to back it up a lot more, or he's going to tear the right side off this truck. You can see he was kind of communicating that in the Discord just a moment ago. Trying to get around the outside of Kyle Diaz for the 8th spot. And already 5 laps in, we have settled out single file, with the exception here in the top 10 of 9th place driver Grant Turner. See a little bit more backed off there that time around. No, he touches the barrier again. And he's smiling about it. It's 3 laps in a row, Grant. Let's see if he does it a 4th time. I gotta know. It's a very interesting line. No, he's going to give that one about half a truck width off the wall that time. Good job. So there it is. Follow the leader for the most part. part here. You got a little bit of a confusion on third position here with Tyler Harrison, Michael Call, and Michael Reed, third through fifth, kind of running different grooves to the entries of these corners. We're not able to get alongside one another. It's going to take an additional 10 or so laps on top of this run before drivers start making that mistake. And most of the time, you'll see them exit turn 4, brush that safer barrier like you saw with Turner a moment ago, and have kill the momentum going into turn 1. That's where drivers will get to the inside. You'll see somebody make a dive bomb move, especially towards the end of this race. And you get into desperation mode. So difficult to pass here. And that's the case whether it's daylight, nighttime, doesn't matter. The weather on the racetrack right now, 87 degrees on the track, 73 in the air. It's pretty cold out here, to be honest, but it does fit kind of the temperatures we would see in Tennessee about this time of year. We're just happy it's not raining. Look to the inside here. Harrison did not get a good run there off the tri-oval. A peak there down low from Michael Call. Turner and Schaefer back side by side again. Down the backstretch, 23 car, who started in the 10th position, now up to 9th. Just beside that, the 54, Caleb Gilbert. There's the 12 of Justice Murphy. All about Bugs, number 12, looks to the high line, looking to pick up one spot after losing 3 on the initial start of this race. Trying to get one of those back after starting at 9th. Probably conserving the tires a little bit here on the early runs. It's a smart move. Like I said, concrete oval. It's going to chew them up quickly. If you can back these entries up, you look to save a lot more in the long run. So just pacing yourself, discipline, takes a lot to have something for the tail end. As we see a pass, 91 of Reed to the outside of Michael Call for 4th position. Looks like he will complete that pass. No, he's going to ride it right up to the wall. He'll still get away with it. Up to 4th now for Reed. So not much has changed since we last talked about it. Jeremy Burns gets out to a comfortable lead. And if you're noticing there, the pink numbers on the left and right door of this machine. We're going to get the zoomed in angle of this truck. The Mountain Man. This Revo Racing Network and Ingenuity Power Systems has Happy Mother's Day on the back tailgate. And as soon as he cycles back around here, we'll get a look at that passenger side roof cap above that A-post. Mama Burns, just above that number 72. So happy Mother's Day to Mama Burns, and to all the mothers that come in and watch here on Vspeed and are part of our chat. Hope you had a great Mother's Day, and not sure how, but we got Mother's Day off here at Vspeed, so it was a good day. Looking off the back of Dakota Floyd, Tyler Harrison, Michael Reed looking to maybe gain another position. He is definitely all over the back bumper of Harrison, but having a little bit of a connection issue. Off that momentum from last week. 91 feeling pretty good here. Adding himself to the limited list of drivers. Only 6 different drivers have won a race in the 10 we have completed. We're looking to try to make it maybe a 6th one for Jeremy Burns. He is comfortably 6/10, almost 7 ahead of Dakota Floyd. Second place, falling back a little bit here. An accordion back to the 45 and 91 as they go through 3 and 4. Looks like Harrison got a little bit tight there through the center. Reed has the momentum, just can't take it anywhere. When you bring that truck down to the bottom in 3 and 4, you'll probably get the nose in there, but getting off the exit of the corner you saw earlier, trucks push up, they migrate towards that outside wall to keep that momentum, and you lose it all if you have to stay down on that bottom. You lose a truck width of exit that's probably 2 or 3 miles per hour that you're going to lose off the exit of turn 4. So for Reed right now, it's just a guessing game of when Are these guys going to make a mistake? See, he brushes that wall just now from that dirty air as they continue to watch Burns drive away. He's probably getting a little frustrated that he can't go anywhere. Last time by, he was matching the lap times of Jeremy Burns. Just can't go anywhere with it. Look here at Grant Thorpe. Started in 6th position. Has locked himself in that spot. Has Trevor Keith behind him. Michael Call, who has lost 2 just in front of him. But Thorpe keeping it together and put together a string of top 10 finishes. Had a podium there in Atlanta. He's put together, I believe, another podium somewhere in between that. So he's had fantastic racing in the post-regular season. The later half finally got what he felt he deserved every week. Sometimes it's just about those top 10, 6th place every week. That can recover your season in a hurry versus trying to go out there and get a podium every single week and get the crash out, having problems, things beyond your control. It takes a lot. It only takes one race to undo an entire season. You can ask Jeremy Burns about that at Phoenix in the Cup Series. Kyle Diaz, Christopher Schaefer, 8th and 9th position. Schaefer has settled down nicely here. At the beginning of the season, the 23 car, a bit of a loose cannon. I compared him to a dart without feathers at the beginning of this year. He's really harnessed that skill and put it all together now. It's a lot of untamed energy at the start. Maybe just the eagerness to race with these guys. I know how overwhelming it can be in this talent pool, and the Truck Series just as competitive as the Cup. Just behind him, cracking the top 10, Caleb Gilbert up 4 positions from 14th. Biggest loss of the race right now goes all the way back to Cody Anderson. He started up in 13th position, has fallen back to the tail end of this field, and he is fighting with Ryan Comer and Jackson McGeorge for the 17th spot. Right on board here with the number 20. Anderson has a spare chair in the background there. He's got a little bit of spare everything back there. But he's not looking behind him right now. He's trying to look in front of him. He's only got one direction to go now as he continues to fall through this field. And we're starting to see some passing go on. Like I said, it was going to take about 10 additional laps, or right around that mark. You're seeing there with the 54 and 23, they got side by side for just a moment there. Kevin Orlando Jr. on the outside of Grant Turner, who's back to where he started this race, the 13th spot. The fight here on the outside. Turner really sends it down there on the bottom, pushes up the racetrack. They almost run out of room there. Tight battle for 12. Coming up on 10 to go here for the end of the stage. Definitely going to make some door contact. I think they got close there. I don't think there was actually any touch on that 27. Grant Turner does not want to give up this position. He'll send it again. This time they do make contact. A door check from the 7 to the 27. That's going to allow Justin Ritchie all over the back bumper. And he'll push the 27 Starry Chevrolet on by. And he'll get to the outside. Let's see if he can carry out a 4. Cut off on the nose. Another push here to Ritchie. Orlando playing some defense here. A crossover move from the 6. And this is for the 13th spot. 12th spot, rather, amongst these 3 trucks. Not much going on in the rest of this field. See Turner still trying to find his way off that safer barrier. He'll brush it one more time. And it kind of killed that momentum going into 1. That will allow the 1-6 to the inside. Floyd dialed it back here. Starting to reel Burns back in. That lead was over half a second. It was almost up to a full second. Now down to just 4/10 as they come out of 3 and 4. 57. Looking like he might know what he's doing here before the stage end. It's shaping up that way as we have stayed green all the way through. No lead changes, no cautions. Stage at lap 35. Less than 10 to go. For stage 1 of race 11. Floyd down the backstretch last time by a 10th faster than Jeremy Burns. That time by Burns a little bit quicker than him. Kind of made up back on that deficit. Floyd pushing it to try to catch up to the 72, who's probably going to allow him that cushion of about 2/10 before he starts pushing it again. Tyler Harrison has distanced himself from Michael Reed. You have to go all the way back a full 2 seconds to find Grant Thorpe comfortably running in 5th spot. And as it sits right now, the position's up for grabs. We're amongst the top 10 as Kevin Orlando has lost 7/10 on Christopher Schaefer. They're side by side back there for a moment with Jackson McGeorge and Chris Nail. 88 and 98. We're watching Cody Anderson just behind that. Kyle Diaz trying to get back out on the racetrack in the 26. He's 2 laps down. He's had an early exit to this race. Let's see if we can find what happened to the number 26 really quickly. Oh, he had contact with the 23. Almost set up a chain reaction there. And Diaz just kind of feeling bad about it. Pulls off the racetrack. He's having a connection issue. These trucks were blinking. And he gets sent to pit road with that connection issue. 5 to go in stage 1. Lead down to 2/10. Jeremy Burns trying to get another stage victory. Dakota Floyd winless this season. Does have a stage win in the 57. He's had a lot of races where he's been up front and had solid starts, but gets caught out on strategy or gets put deep in the field from a mistake. And we've had speeding on pit road. We've had a variety of everything go wrong for Dakota Floyd, but it's mainly been the incidents this season that have put him behind the 8 ball to get that victory and finally seal the deal. He's definitely had the speed, as we said before, to get it done in this truck series. Read off some statistics here with the playoff points. Alex Forget, Trevor Keith, Jeremy Burns with 5 race wins. We go with Grant Thorpe, Michael Reed, Grant Turner, all with a race win. And then you go off of stage wins. Tyler Harrison has a stage win. Justin Ritchie has 2. Michael Reed has 2. Dakota Floyd has 2 as well. Burns only has, out of his 5 wins, 2 stage wins. Trevor Keith with a stage victory as well. I believe that was coming from Talladega. No, actually, Chicagoland. Talladega was his race win, so Chicagoland, where he got that race win, or that stage win. So we come up to the white flag in just a moment's time. Doesn't look like Floyd has anything for the 72. He's turned on the afterburners. A lot of this top 10 is settled out. Trevor Keith is approaching the 77 of Grant Thorpe, though. He might have something to say about the top 5 for this stage. They'll look to the outside here. The other close battle is between Justice Murphy, who got around Christopher Schaefer, as the white flag comes out one more time around in stage number 1. Jeremy Burns says Happy Mother's Day to Mama Burns and claim the stage victory with pink side skirts. Thank goodness we can't cut a tire. Nothing's going to go wrong. Jeremy Burns going to do it for another stage win. 3 now on the season for the 72. Top 10 on the left-hand side of your screen, with Burns, Floyd, Harrison, Reed, Thorpe on the top 5. Keith, Call, Gilbert, Murphy, and Schaefer, the top 10. And Burns got it by about 3.5, 4/10 of a second to claim that one. Allow these drivers an opportunity to come down pit road. See how it all cycles out with that pit road exit as they have caught up to the iRacing official pace car. Two other drivers that we haven't had an opportunity to get some onboard camera shots with. Trevor Keith in the 15. Jeremy Burns in the 72. Leading them down pit road. Here we go for the first round of pit stops in this 125 lap event. Burns, Floyd, and Harrison going to be the first to their stalls. Only 16 trucks left as Chris Nail has also taken an early exit. Had problems last week. Another exit for the 88 machine. Can Floyd win this battle? It's going to be close. Almost identical. Jack is down a little bit sooner on the 57. He might drop the Jack sooner than the 72. Let's see how close this battle is. Burns able to hold on to that top spot. And not much change there through the top 5. A couple changes for positions. Justice Murphy gets out in 8th. Michael Reed falls back to 7th. Trevor Keith, I think, picks up a spot, as does Grant Thorpe. That's going to do it there for stage number 1. Don't go anywhere. More coverage will continue for stage number 2 of race number 11. You are watching the Coastal Financial Truck Series live on Vspeed.
Is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams. Back to our coverage from Nashville Super Speedway in the 11th race of the regular season. Jeremy Burns gets that stage victory. His third one of the season after starting on the pole. He led all 38 laps completed to get that one. As we come back to our live shot, though, it's Burns and Floyd still on the front row. Harrison and Thorpe. Thorpe up 2 spots, down 3 for Michael Call, and up 6 for the number 6 of Justin Ritchie into the top 10 as we go back. Green flag racing. Live from Nashville, back underway. Sideways for Floyd. Harrison gets sideways as well. There's a scatter at the front of the field. 3 wide going into 3 and 4. Call on the outside. The starry 27 looks 4 wide. The 15 stuck in the middle. Trevor Keith trying to hold on to it. He will. He's got his hands full. On board here, looking at the 15 KSX graphics machine of Trevor Keith. He had his hands full in that restart. I think he all cycled back to where he was after all of this happened. A lot going on there. We'll have to go back on our Vspeed instant replay and try to find out what happened to Dakota Floyd. I think he just got loose coming off of turn 2. Watch right here. I don't know if there's contact between the 45 and the 57 or not. Yeah, 45 trying to get around and push the 57 up the racetrack, and then it's just scattered behind him there. There's the 3 wide, almost 4 wide, going into 3 and 4. A door check on the 3 of Call sends him up the racetrack. Michael Call falls back to 13th. He lost about 7 positions, back to the 21 of Ryan Comer. It hasn't settled down just yet. 91 all over the back bumper of Grant Thorpe coming out of turn 2. Top 5 still very much alive. A hometown race for Terry Hudgens. Terry, I'll be in that neck of the woods here in just a couple weeks' time. At least that's the plan. Take a look at Lebanon, Tennessee. Side by side there with Thorpe. Reed will get around for the 4th position. And another pass here on the outside with Kevin Orlando. That was for 8th as Justin Ritchie was actually up 8 spots there for just a moment. He'll fall back to 9th. On board with the 6th car. Spot lost here as Ritchie falls through the top 10. You see another truck that's coming to life here. Finally, something happening for Cody Anderson. He's starting to show some speed on diving the inside, looking for a top 10 for the first time today in the 20. We'll check with the wall there. It's Comer. Just got a little piece of it there. We'll look back up front. Second through 5th. Still not settled out here. Second through 4th, rather. With Michael Reed, Tyler Harrison in the middle. These drivers all separated by about a 1/10 of a second. Remember, Floyd had that contact with the 45 of Harrison to start this race off. Harrison able to settle it back down. While that all happened, though, Jeremy Burns went back out to his half-second lead as he did in stage number 1. And again, he has led every single lap that we have completed so far, 46 out of the 125 that we will run here at Nashville. Clean air has been detrimental. Everybody wanted it. Only one truck gets it. Well, Terry, we need to get together. I'll be in the pits as well. Look for me wearing a Vspeed shirt. Sure you'll recognize it. Be there with my family in the pits on all 3 events. So hope to see you there. Passing going on here. Thought Harrison was going to get a run on the 57. He will look to the inside. While these two go side by side, another 1/10 or 2 for Burns to pull away. Just under halfway through this race. Cody Anderson goes by the 6th of Justin Ritchie. Ritchie on the other side of this run now. Seems to have burned up the tires rather early. He's going to get loose through the tri-oval and move all the way up the racetrack there around Ryan Comer. Problems for the 6 truck. And pulling off to pit road. A little short pit strategy here for Justin Ritchie. 52 of Burns, 57 of Floyd, separated by 0.8 of a second. Tyler Harrison, Michael Reed just behind Floyd. You go back further, there's another set of battles going on for the 7th, 6th spot. See Trevor Keith trying to dive to the inside of Grant Thorpe. He won't be able to do so, and that'll open up a door for Justice Murphy to take it to the outside here going into turns 1 and 2. Preferred line here to complete a pass. He will get to the outside of the 15. It looks like he will complete it. And another spot possibly lost as the 27 of Kevin Orlando. He seizes this opportunity to get his nose in there. Through 3 and 4, a little bit more difficult. We're going to have to hold on to it here. Don't want to push it up the racetrack too much. 27 looking for a crossover. He'll dive to the bottom through 1 and 2. Major send there from the starry 27 to try to complete this pass. He will not do so. Keith will keep it on the high line. Again, that high line through 1 and 2 is the place to be. And maybe a little pinch down here through 3 and 4. This might be enough, though, for the starry 27. It will not. He has to lift out of the throttle, almost some contact. This is for 7th right here. Gilbert going to join the mix as well. Almost looked 3 wide with Orlando. Orlando had the momentum. 54 breaks it up for 8th. Caleb Gilbert. Got 5 spots. Ryan Comer on the move as well. The 21 started back at 17th. He's right on the edge of a top 10 here today. Solid drive so far for the number 11, or for the 11th place driver, the 21. It's almost a full second separating these guys from this guy as the Ingenuity Power System 72, dedicated to Mama Burns, continues to pull out at the halfway mark. Burns' lead is going to be over a full second. He hasn't quite strung it out there yet, as Justin Ritchie has taken an early exit to this event as well. We still have 15 trucks left on this racetrack, 14 of which are on the lead lap. Grant Turner would be the lucky pass position if a caution does come out. Caution free so far from Nashville. Stage caution being the only yellow that has flown here today with our stage 1 winner up at the top of your screen. Race recap, it's been clean here with only 15 trucks. Would not be surprised to see this go green all the way to the end. You know, track temperature has come down, I think, a degree. I think it was up to 85 or so, maybe a little bit higher than that. It might have been 87. My memory serves me correctly. It was a little higher than that. Not much of a change since the start of this event. But here on Vspeed, it's one of those moments where we'll take this opportunity to go side by side under green. We'll get a quick drink. We'll be back in just a moment's time from Nashville. Don't go anywhere. More coverage continues right after this.
It's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Well, you were seeing it live there on your screen in the side-by-side, but trouble here for the 57. He makes a mistake. Oversends it into 1 and 2, and then a little bit later on, as you saw there on that side-by-side, the 57 exits early. Problems here for Dakota Floyd at Nashville, and he is done for the day. That will leave us 14 trucks. And Grant Turner is going to pick up another spot up to 14th, even though he's a lap down. Floyd out of this race, and we're watching this back on a replay here to try to see what happened to Dakota Floyd that sent this truck on an early exit. We're back to our live shot though. Trevor Keith just got around the 12. Justice Murphy, they're running side by side for the 5th spot. Take her back up on your screen. Not exactly sure if Floyd just decided to park it there or not. I had to step away. Voice was getting a little tired, had to get some water. And, you know, we catch back up, come back, and see that our driver that's been in second place all night long, the luck continues for Dakota Floyd, and Jeremy Burns now has that lead to 1.3 seconds with a little bit of a connection blip there. But let's go on board with the fan favorite in the number 72. A little bit different background this week. I think he's moved back from college and different room now. And you wouldn't think that, you know, moving like that would mess with these guys too much, but when you're constantly reorganizing your room, you're constantly changing that rig around, remounting that wheel, all of those things are factored in. I can't speak personally for Burns, but I know for me, it takes me a week or two of practice to get back into the rhythm of just having that alignment, you know, maybe that wheel or that seat isn't quite in the same position that it was when you were racing every day at college on the weekends, and you move all that stuff around where the monitors are located distance-wise, different desks. Hasn't seemed to be affecting him here tonight. The 1.5 second lead, I don't think anything's going to mess with Jeremy Burns. Unless we get a caution, these guys are going to have a tough time catching back up. But Michael Reed, I'm going to say later in that first run during the first stage, was a little bit quicker than Burns and just couldn't get around Tyler Harrison. Now he has, and for the 91, he's looking to go back-to-back this week. A very similar racetrack at Kentucky there where he got that victory. Shallower banking, though, has not been kind to these drivers that like to push like it's a typical mile-and-a-half racetrack. Gonna have the mentality of a short track at times. This place handles more like turn 1 at Texas. Stage points for Christopher Schaefer. He's back up to 10th, but we're looking here at Jackson McGeorge trying to crack into the top 10. Justice Murphy had a problem there, lost a position or two. He's getting a little loose there off the 4. See what happened to the 12 truck. Nothing major there. He's just a little off speed. He's trying to defend this position for 9th right now. 8th, actually. on Ryan Comer. Back and forth here through 1 and 2. Outside seems to be a better place to be, but the 12 did not get back to the throttle as soon as the 21 did. So Comer will take that position over here at the halfway mark. Back up front, though, it's just under 2 seconds. I said it would be over 2 seconds at the halfway mark. Well, here he comes off of turns 3 and 4. And there it is at 2 seconds exactly. Michael Reed not progressing towards the 72. Starting to lose some ground. Lost about 3/10 that time by a 31.755 for the 91. Kyler Harrison 2/10 faster. So Reed overdrove it through one of these exits and lost a lot of ground. He's allowed Harrison back to the rear bumper. He's within striking distance of 2/10 back. Second place up for grabs again here in the closing stage of this race now. Halfway mark. We're back here with Grant Thorpe. 2/10 separate him, Caleb Gilbert, and Trevor Keith. These guys almost having to downshift into these corners. They're slowing down so much into 1 and 2. And look alive here, chat. This is the moment where we find those volume knobs here on Vspeed. If you know where it is, it's time to turn it up here on Vspeed. Presented by Coastal Financial. Coming back by for another lap led. The lead at 2.5 seconds here for Jeremy Burns. So he continues to hold on, and we turned it up there for just a moment at Nashville and Music City. Sweet, sweet sound of V8 engines thundering around this concrete oval here on a Monday night. It's been the 11th time that we've seen it here on Vspeed. The first time we've covered the Truck Series. And Burns looking to get his 6th victory. He's already claimed his 3rd stage win in a caution-free event that is 79, now 80 laps into tonight. 46 to go. This is right around the time that we would expect drivers to start bringing it down pit road. 14 trucks still out on the racetrack, a lap down for Kevin Orlando and Michael Call now. Those drivers did bring it down into the pits. So Kevin Orlando, Michael Call, the 3 truck down 11 spots, should cycle out with the 3 truck back on the lead lap. If we can complete these pit stops under green flag conditions. 3 truck going to dive to the inside on the 98. Maybe a crossover here. No, 98 high noon machine does crossover, but thinks better of it here. It's fresh tires off of that corner. Nobody else has elected to come down. Yes, Christopher Schaefer on the pit road in the 23. Missed his box a little bit here. That's going to cost him some time. And the top 10 effort that the 23 was having here tonight might have just been shot through the sky. It might be over with. This will put them exactly at that halfway mark of 45 to go. Let's split this run in half. Does anybody else peel it down? Here comes Grant Thorpe, Caleb Gilbert, Trevor Keith, and a few others. So the 20 machine of Cody Anderson also pulling it down pit road. Thorpe into his box. Keith, no mistakes here for these trucks. Oh, Keith misses his box by about a foot. Slight moment there for Trevor Keith. As Grant Thorpe will go down and away, Keith loses a position on this. Let's see if that brings the rest of these trucks down pit road. 72 has found his way to the number 1 stall. And so that'll hand the lead over to Michael Reed, who is coming down as well. Ryan Comer also coming in. And the undercut on the strategy. Will it be enough for Kevin Orlando? He'll pick up some spots with this. And he's going to have 19 lap older tires than the rest of this field. Only a couple drivers came down that early. And Jackson McGeorge is going to go an additional lap. He will get his first lap lead of the day. How much further do you want to stretch this fuel run in the 98? As the 72 will get back on the lead lap. Here comes the 45 of Tyler Harrison. Harrison on the same stint of tires. He's going to have a big run coming out of turn 2. He'll get right up on the bumper of Burns. Burns puts a block on him. I think Harrison not going to let that happen twice. As Jackson McGeorge continues to stay out Burns. A little bit of a blink there. Going to go to the inside of Michael Call. Call, one of those other cars that came down pit road about the same time as Kevin Orlando. Kevin Orlando got about a 5-second gap between him and the 72 as Jackson McGeorge has brought it down pit road. Kevin Orlando going to lead his first time today. Has a good enough lead here. I think he'll be able to do so. The 27 really struggling on handling now. We're going to stop looking at that relative and look at the racetrack. If you're the 27, you got to get that lap lead. Now has some right rear damage. It's official now. The 27 has led a lap here today. That will add up towards those bonus points for the regular season. Battle between Burns and Harrison. Harrison had a big run there. I thought he was going to try to take it to the inside. Had some lap traffic, a little check up there. There's a real opportunity there for the 45 to disrupt the run. that Burns has had. He's been the dominant truck all day long. And he's back here with Grant Thorpe. He's now in the wheelhouse to get a top 3 finish. Could be another podium day, continuing the string of top 10s for the 77 team. Back here with Cody Anderson, up to the 9th spot now. Trevor Keith just in front of him. Keith with that mistake on pit road exit in the 15. Put him back to 8th position. Will most likely catch up here to the 3 of Michael Call. Keith last time by was almost a full second faster than the 3 truck. And that's because of the 20 lap difference on tires that these guys have. 20 laps equals a full second here at Nashville. So a send into the corner here for Trevor Keith to stay ahead of Cody Anderson. Ryan Comer. A little bit fresher tires than the guys in front of him. He could catch up and still snag away a top 10 finish here tonight. With Christopher Schaefer, Jackson McGeorge. McGeorge stayed out longer than anyone else in this field. He has the freshest tires with Grant Turner. Turner a lap down though. Turner praying for a caution that just hasn't happened here today. Right back on board with the number 7 deep in this field. Let's see if he's still using that safer barrier to exit turn 4. It doesn't look like it this time around. Look at the foot camera while we have it. Hey, a little salute there. I just missed you there, Grant. I just missed you. Give me a salute with the foot pedals. Can you do it with that? Well, he gave me a touch to the safer barrier, so that's good enough. He knows we're watching. Up front, Jeremy Burns, 1.1 seconds. Michael Reed has gotten around Tyler Harrison. Caleb Gilbert battling with Kevin Orlando for 5th. Kevin Orlando is trying to hold on at this point. 19 lap older tires. The short pit strategy did not work for these guys. That's a pretty big undercut. 19 laps, like we said, it's almost a full second off. As you'll see the 27 of Kevin Orlando bring it back down pit road here. Jeremy Burns is just out for a Sunday drive right now. Just maintain that 1 second gap and bring it on home. Another zoom in here from the Mountain Man. With Mama Burns on the right-hand side. The pink side skirts keeping him afloat here tonight. So far, so good. So the driver that I would consider that's kind of on that bubble right now, Grant Thorpe, has older tires than Tyler Harrison, but showed longer run pace than the 45. I'm interested to see if Grant Thorpe can find his way back to the top 3. He's been up there once already today. The race approaching 25 laps to go. Last time by 5 hundredths of a second faster for Thorpe. He's going to have to pick that up to a tenth, I would say, to get to that rear bumper, but he is starting to show the speed, and I think the 77 has a real shot at getting another podium here in the Truck Series. With just over 25 to go, Grant Thorpe on the move for that top three. But it is quite spread out here for the most part. 27 back out on the racetrack, now a lap down, and battling with the 7. He'll cross him over here. That was for position 12. It's Kevin Orlando, who led 5 laps, takes over from Grant Turner. These guys have been trapped a lap down, and based off the fuel numbers, this field can make it to the end of this race. So now it's a battle for that free pass position. Kevin Orlando probably regretting a little bit. Might have had to come down pit road. Might have burned a little bit more fuel. I'm not exactly sure why the 27 had to come down so soon, if it was scheduled for that undercut or not. But unfortunately now, he's in that bed. He's going to lay in it. Made that bet up. As we watch the lead dwindle down to half a second now. Off the back of Jeremy Burns. Reed on the move. The 91 really showing some pace towards the tail end of this race, trying to go back to back. Prevent Burns from his 6th win of the season. That time around, another 10th shaved off. Reed is coming. Burns definitely going to contest this. We saw what he did with Harrison there in that block on the backstretch. Tyler Harrison has fallen off 2 seconds from the lead. Reed definitely has the pace right now to catch up to that back bumper within the next 5 laps. Another 10th off. Burns just trying to keep it smooth here. Clean air in front of him, trying to maintain that gap. This time, identical lap times. 31.048, 31.044. Just 4 1,000ths of a second. Jeremy Burns trying to hold on. 3/10 separate the 91 and the 72 in the closing stages of this race for week number 11. Burns, Reed, Harrison, and you have Thorpe, Gilbert, Murphy, Anderson, Keith. The battle for 10th between Jackson McGeorge on fresher tires up against Christopher Schaefer in the 23. Lead has went stagnant now. Looks like Burns holding on to a little bit, saving something for when Reed gets there. When you have a lead like that, you can kind of pace yourself, dial it back quite a bit. They have about 20 laps left now. Burns maybe feeling a little bit of pressure here. Now that Reed has caught up to him, that dirty air makes it a little bit more difficult to get to him. Almost another 10th there for Michael Reed. Won't get a very good exit off of turn 2. Seems to be faster through 3 and 4 here. Let's see if he closes up on the 72. Sizing it up for the very end, maybe a last lap or for the pass. We'll have to see what the plan is for Reed, but another 10th that time by. '91 is there, lurking on the back of Jeremy Burns. This is the closest battle on this racetrack right now, and it is for the win. 15 to go when we cross that stripe. And Michael Reed has caught up to Jeremy Burns. He's going to take it into 3 and 4, the fastest part of the racetrack for him. Nothing yet. Didn't quite get the momentum out of that corner. Trying to figure out his way around the 72, the dominant truck of the day. This would be kind of a surprise to everybody if you looked at it statistically. And we've seen the 91 be a little bit faster than Burns earlier in the race. It doesn't surprise anybody if you've watched this all the way through. He's going to get right up on the bumper through 3 and 4. Great entry to that portion of the racetrack. He'll look left, he'll look right. Still nothing there yet. Gonna get tight out of 1 and 2. All that ground lost. Starting to feel the effects. He is faster in 3 and 4, but he's gonna have to back up 1 and 2 to hang with him. He'll get tight. That dirty air, he's tight again. And Jeremy Reed starts to pull away, or Jeremy Burns, rather, starts to pull away from Michael Reed. Looking back here with Ryan Comer on Trevor Keith. Attempt to separate these two drivers. Maybe a last pass effort from the 21. He'll get a good run out of turn 2 and get right up on the bumper. Almost some contact. I think they did touch there. And Comer's not going to give him the room off of 4. Going door to door into 1. Keith's going to push the 21 up the racetrack. Is it going to be enough here to hold on to this position? Comer a lot faster on the exit of turn 2. In fact, the fresher tires seem to be helping the 21 as well. Watch this battle continue for the 9th spot. Comer's going to drive it into 1. Keith really going to send it. Comer overshoots the entry way up the racetrack here for the 21. But a big run down the backstretch. Back and forth with the 15 and the 21. 10 laps to go. Reed trying to regroup. Just don't think he has enough here to catch up to that 72 now that he's hit the wall a couple times. Burns starting to pull away. Almost a half a second back now to the 91. Grant Thorpe back up to 4th, or in 4th riding. He has not been able to get up to 3rd. I thought he would catch up to Tyler Harrison, maybe compete with him, but now has the 54 of Caleb Gilbert looking for the 4th place finish. Last time by, Reed actually found a way to be faster than Burns. Maybe a one more effort coming from the 91. In the 5 laps left in this race, I think you're going to see one more effort. Pushed it a little too hard there out of 1 and 2. We're able to keep Gilbert at bay. Trevor Keith did get passed by Ryan Cover, and we're able to complete that spot for an 8th place possible here. Justice Murphy up in 7th. Cody Anderson, shout out to him and what he's put together here tonight as we approach 5 laps to go. Anderson at the start of this race, somewhere back in the 11th position most of the day. The way these pit stops fell. Fantastic job here for the number 20. Time to go at the line. Reed back on offense. Is it going to be enough though? Only 0.02 of a second last time, and this time by 100th faster for Burns. Reed needs to do this 5 times perfectly if he wants any shot. He's changed up his entry into the corner, overdrove it a little bit there. Lost another couple 100ths of a second, just overshooting it into 3 and 4. You see Burns all the way down on that bottom. It's the advantage of that clean air for the most part. There you go, down on the bottom. Just can't get the drive off anymore. It looks like the right front is gone on Michael Reed's 91 machine. It's not looking good with 3 to go for back-to-back on this stint of 4 races between those 2 breaks. Burns going to take that 2 to go signal from Nashville. It's not over yet. 2.66 miles. The distance to drive around Talladega Superspeedway is now up at half a second for Jeremy Burns, looking at his 6th win. He's already claimed his 3rd stage. And Reed way up the racetrack. Reed into the wall. And that's going to do it. Burns is going to take the white flag. One more time around, and he has nobody in his mirror now. Off into the sunset out of turn 4. One more time around. White flag presented by Earhart Homes. Love where you live. Jeremy Burns going to get his 6th victory of the season. It is official now with 1.33 seconds back to Michael Reed. Jeremy Burns drives off the corner. One more set of corners, 3 and 4, touches the wall to check the safer barrier, and the Ingenuity Power Systems. And a happy Mother's Day to Mama Burns. How about this? Happy Mother's Day to the whole Burns family, and a happy victory lane. Jeremy Burns, 6-time winner in the Truck Series. He defended them off all night long between Dakota Floyd, Michael Reed, Tyler Harrison, all trying to get that spot away from him. He led 116 laps here today. to become victorious 6th time this season. Michael Reed, Tyler Harrison, the top 3. Now it's time to bring up your race winner with a post-race interview. Jeremy Burns in the number 72. We go hunt that driver down. Jeremy Burns, it's Brantley Cooper in the Vspeed booth. 6 wins now. 3rd stage win of the season with pink splitters and the tailgate. I'll tell you what, dominant performance here tonight. Fantastic drive. Tell us a little bit about this place. It looked like clean air was really the deciding factor, and you did not want to give it up tonight.
Yeah, it definitely was. Just overall, it was a great race. Obviously, had the special paint scheme on for Mother's Day, so huge shout out Mama Burns and all the other mothers in RR out there. It's such a clean race, and we knew that long runs were probably going to happen with the size of the field tonight. Just overall, qualifying was so important. And then after we qualified on pole, just executing and making sure that if somebody was getting close, being able to give them dirty air and being able to kind of move around. For the first 5 or 10 laps of a run, you don't really want to push too hard, because then that kind of limits your ability to move later on in the run. But just super excited. Win number 6 of the season. Got some playoff points tonight, so just feeling pretty good. Just trying to rack up as many as I can before we head to the playoffs. But just a really good race overall. Really clean. That battle there, whether it was between Dakota Floyd, Tyler Harrison, or even Michael Reed there at the end, just really clean racing, really hard racing, and just really glad to come out on the right end of it. And yeah, 6 wins, that's pretty impressive. So looking to build on that.
Jeremy, we go back there to that set of green flag pit stops. You guys split that run in half and got kind of caught up there, and some guys that had stayed out or had short pitted. And so down that back straightaway, you got caught up there. I think it was Michael Call. Somebody got in front of you, really checked up your run out of turn 2, and almost allowed the 45 of Harrison to the inside. They got close there. But we saw that block. You were talking about the, well, maybe not intentional, but maybe a little shift to the left to keep that clean air. But you kind of proved my point overall that being out front, having no one in front of you, really is a deciding factor at this racetrack.
Yeah, it drove really weird. It was quicker on the top because you could carry more speed off the corner, but it just destroyed the right front tire. And I did a little something within the car setup, at least with the brake bias, to help me loosen it up a little bit. So maybe that's where it also excelled. But I came into pits like 2 seconds ahead of Tyler, and when he came off, side by side, I was wondering why that was even a thing, but knew that I had to maintain that track position and just a little bit elbows out racing, nothing crazy, but hopefully it didn't get too much damage on the car, because that I made that. I made those renditions to it, so if it wasn't symmetrical, now you know why. But overall, just really excited for it, and really excited to get this truck in victory lane. Really glad to be home. I was able to celebrate Mother's Day here with the family. So as you can see, it's a little bit different scenery. So just being able to celebrate that and come here back home and, get to win in the first race back. So just really happy for that.
Well, and the change of scenery, I was talking about that a little bit in the mid-race. So we talked about how when you convert these rigs, you wouldn't think that the distance of your wheel to your chair, to your monitors, to wherever you're sitting, the alignment of everything, it really messes with you. It didn't seem to affect you here at all, though. 116 laps led. You started on the pole. You get the stage win. You get the most laps led overall, and ultimately win the race. Anybody you want to shout out?
Obviously, got to shout out Mama Burns and all the mothers out there in RR. Just celebrating Mother's Day. So really happy to have that paint scheme on the truck tonight and get to celebrate that. Also got to shout out my dad, Josie, Coach P, Sonny, my grandma, Miss Betsy, Julie, Derek, Caroline, Shannon, Belinda, Betty, Colleen, Tommy, Chrissy, Dana, and Dylan. Element X, Caleb out there tonight gave me some really good information. Metroplex for everything that they do over on the Cup side of things. Ingenuity Power Systems, really grateful to be able to bring that paint scheme together. So really just happy that they allowed me to do that. Chapman Environmental, Buck Kicker, Coastal Financial, Ultimate Exterior Lighting, Errard Holmes, All About Bugs, and of course y'all here at Vspeed. Just really glad to be able to put on a show like that, and really glad that y'all are here streaming it. So yeah, and all the admins and drivers and anybody else who made this possible. But yeah, super stoked for it. Ready to go celebrate. But yeah, I'll let y'all get on to it.
Jeremy Burns, race winner, 6th win of the season, and a dominant performance. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next week. I believe we're going. I had it. It happens to me a lot. I don't know why I keep losing the schedule.
Charlotte.
We're at Charlotte. There you go. So that'll be just before Memorial Day weekend. We look forward to seeing you 7 days' time next Monday.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Bradley.
Well, it's time to take a quick commercial break while we round up the rest of your drivers and those final race results. Coming back here for more post-race coverage live on Vspeed from Nashville Super Speedway. Don't go anywhere. More coverage after this.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live at Nashville Super Speedway in Music City, in the western half of Tennessee, where Coastal Financial Truck Series has concluded its 11th race of the regular season. 125 laps complete, and 116 of those went to your race winner, Jeremy Burns, who also got stage number 1. 4 lead changes here today, and all of those happening during green flag pit stops. It was a very clean race with 18 trucks starting it. We had 14 of them left to finish this thing out. Rest of your field, though, with Michael Reed and Tyler Harrison getting the top three. We'll get a word with those drivers in just a moment's time. But there it is with the guy that got back to a tenth of a second with about 15 laps to go. Michael Reed had a mistake off of turns 1 and 2, got into the outside wall with about 2 or 3 to go. And that was all she wrote for Jeremy Burns. Grant Thorpe's going to get 4th position with Caleb Gilbert into the top 5. And Cody Anderson, he's going to gain 9 positions. Let's take that back. 7 positions, 9 gain for Caleb Gilbert. Justice Murphy, 2 spots gained, 7th position. Ryan Comer is going to finish in 8th. Good drive for the 21 machine. Trevor Keith falls back to 15th. And Jackson McGeorge, a car that stayed out longer than everyone else, rallies back to the top 10. Christopher Schaefer will finish in 11th spot with Kevin Orlando Jr. in 12th. Came back down pit road a second time. He'll finish 1 lap down. And everyone from here on down a lap or more off the pace. And Grant Turner, who started up in 12th, finishing in 13th. Michael Call, the top 5 to start this race. He falls back to 3rd. There's a couple drivers here that started the top 5 with Dakota Floyd at early exit, 65 laps down. Justin Ritchie, 16th, 75 laps down. And an early exit for Chris Snail, Kyle Diaz, and Alex Forget Berube electing not to grid here today. But with that, it's time to bring up your second place finisher, Michael Reed. And we're going to bring up that driver now. Second place spot here for the number 91. And you got there. You were right on the back porch, the rear deck lid of that leader. But once you got to that dirty area, it looked like through 3 and 4, you were a lot faster than Burns. But once you got up there in that dirty area, it just changed the handling of this truck. Michael, give us your take on it.
Yeah, that was it. I was actually just talking to Jeremy about that. It was, I used everything I had to catch him, and then I got in that dirty air, and it just didn't stand a chance. If I had caught him 20 laps sooner, maybe we'd have a different story there. But with 30, 40 laps on those tires, there was nothing I could do with them.
Well, you drove back from almost a full second. We finished off those green flag pit stops. You had to compete with some guys earlier in this race, but I had talked about how you were a little bit faster than Burns all the way through that first stage. And I think Burns was worried too. I mean, you got everybody questioning the outcome of this race in those final 10 laps. But, Michael, you did a fantastic job here tonight. You got a lap lead. You started back in 8th and you rallied your way to a top 3.
Yeah, thank you. I feel like we optimized it, and that just shows how important track position is here. And starting 8th isn't going to win the race when you got competitors like Jeremy and Tyler out there. That track position's king, and when you got to catch up, you're going to use up your stuff. There's a cost to it.
Well, finally, Michael, I got to ask you, we had you there last week with your first win of the season there at Kentucky. We're running out of regular season races. We're going to Charlotte next week. What's in store for us for the 91?
I don't feel as good about Charlotte as I do Nashville Super Speedway here, but love the 1.5 miles in these trucks. That's definitely my bread and butter in these things. I just got to work on that qualifying. Again, starting 8th or anywhere behind that's just not going to cut it, because you got to have that track position. So that's what I'm going to work on this week, and hopefully we could show up a little faster.
1 win on the season, 2 stage wins at Rockingham and Talladega. Michael Reed with a lap lead, podium finish, going back to back up here in the Vspeed booth. Anybody you want to shout out while we have you up here again?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I just got a text from my sister. She watched her first ever race. So shout out to her. Coastal Financial sponsoring the series, Music City sponsoring the race, and of course Vspeed. Y'all do a great job every week.
Appreciate that very much, Michael Reed. We appreciate your time. We'll see you in 1 week when we go to Charlotte.
All right. Thank you, Bradley.
With that, it's time to move to our 3rd place finisher. We have Tyler Harrison, who's also starting to get a little used to being up here in the booth. And we had that drought. We had a little hiatus with Tyler. Now it looks like we're stringing together top 3s for the 45 team. 3rd place, another good one. Solid tonight.
Yeah, definitely happy with the run here. Was honestly expecting a little bit different with the track conditions and figured the race would be a little bit more tire dependent, but happy to start off decent in 4th and then gain a spot there even after the 2 tire gamble. A pretty solid race by the 45 truck here.
Yeah, two-tire gamble, and so that's where Jeremy Burns was questioning. You got out there off those pit stops side by side with him, 12.9 in the box, 40 seconds on the lane. That puts you right next to his door. But coming down that backstretch, I got to ask, it looked like a block. I don't know what your opinion is, but you were all over him.
No, I definitely did my best to try and get around him, or at least make it hard for him to get off pit road, so that way I could at least have a chance to be side by side or be close to him, because it was two tires and get in front of him, or two tires and figure out where I was going to finish at that point. But no, that was a lot of fun battling with Burns and the 57 car on that restart after the stage. We just have a lot of great competitors in this field that give room but race hard and fair. And I felt like that was a fair move. I talked to him after the race, and he was kind of surprised. And after I explained what happened, he's like, "Oh, that makes a ton of sense as to why he gained so much ground on me." But I just knew I wasn't going to beat Burns off pace, so really tire strategy was the only call. And I'm just kind of thankful I didn't lose any more spots than I did with losing to the 91.
Yeah, Grant Thorpe got within about a second and a half of you there at the tail end of that, but you had enough of a lead, enough of a gap there that you maintained this podium finish. And Tyler, one more thing before we let you go. And I know that you have a lot of people backing you up on this, a lot of people that help put this 45 car. I've seen that collection, a very supportive girlfriend. You got some cool stuff there in that room as well. So anybody you want to shout out before we move on to Charlotte?
Yeah, of course. Big shout out to my girlfriend, Tia. She's always supportive and understanding. If I don't text her back while I'm doing this here, she knows what I'm doing. So always appreciate her being understanding and supportive of what I do. Everybody that's on the board of this truck and even the Cup car, when it comes down to Avid Studios, Recharge Rally, everybody else that's on the truck as well, and Cars and Wings. I'm trying to read it off the truck here. I even put you guys on the truck here because I know I had another commentator on here, but since you guys started sponsoring, I put Vspeed on the truck here. I don't know if you ever noticed it, but got you guys on here, and of course, big shout out to you for always broadcasting the truck series here, and of course, everybody else that sponsors the league as well for Racing Revolution. Coastal Financial being the main supporter of the truck series, and everybody who sponsors it on Wednesdays. So, a lot of people make this league go the way that it goes, and quality that it is. So, just happy to be a part of this, get a good finish, and hopefully keep the momentum going to Charlotte.
How much to make that Vspeed logo a little bit bigger on that rear quarter panel? You let me know. Tyler, it's tiny, man. We got to get that huge.
Yeah, I can go back to Photoshop for you. I'll see what I can do.
Scale it up. Appreciate you, though, Tyler. And we look forward to seeing you in 7 days there when we go to Charlotte. We're running out of regular season races. I think we've got 3 left after this, and we look forward to that.
For sure. Absolutely. Look forward to it as well.
Tyler Harrison started in 4th. Podium finish here at Nashville. So there you have it. That's going to do it for our coverage here tonight. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Got plenty of racing left to be done through the week as well with QSR and their season finale. Got Racing Revolution back on Wednesday nights. Goat Locker and their summer series is going to be firing off here really soon as well. Got some summer series action on Saturdays with the Misfit Tour Series. Of course, Saturday Night Racing League approaching their chase format as well, as they have finished up their regular season just last Saturday. Yours truly should be out on the racetrack for some of those. So if you did enjoy tonight's broadcast, make sure to thank Adam Baker. You can check out vspeedsim.com. We've got plenty of merchandise, some new stuff rolling off, and also some custom stuff. You can also check out Juicy Spider if you like the introduction here for Vspeed. But for everybody, Adam Baker, Logan Threlkeld, Eddie Smith, Morgan Cook, and Christian Hill, Cindy Lucas Lyons. This is Bradley Cooper saying so long from the Music City. We'll see you next week at Charlotte. Until then, everybody, stay tracking.